Jack Collins. Oh, fantastic. And this is the first live performance event of the first Leeds Poetry Festival. Spoken Word and Waffles. A few notes before we start. If you could just refrain from ordering drinks while we're doing the performances, because there will be breaks throughout the evening. So if you just save your ordering drinks till then. For the waffles, they will be coming, and you might hear some beeping and stuff, but they will be coming out to you if you've booked them or got them. And that's it. Okay? So this is a poem called Glottal Stop, and it's about the Yorkshire accent and the way we cut out the T, like in it, and things like that. Glottal stop, back of the throat catch, make my old man hot, totally breakable bad habit, don't even say your tea, quick, grab it. Alright mate, what do you want from shop? Skittles or butter, or bottle of pop, a turtle or beetle, kettle or hob, I'll get it to say it, it makes my heart throb. Glottal stop, glottal start. It comes out my mouth, but it comes from my heart. Father and Mum said, you've got to talk proper. But I knew early on I was a glottal stopper. All the little mates in primary schools thought talking slack and lazy as possible was cool. So I did it. I did it, and I'll never regret the slang that made the teachers fret. Glottal stops can't be bought. And if you can't cut it, you shouldn't do it. Too many self-taught authorities on glottalisation, I'm upset to report, light up a sentence to do a put-on, an impression, but I'm not impressed because they fully pronounce the T. Just glottal stop. Glottal's top, glottal's bottom. There's language of all kinds, the ripe and the rotten. Dialects, accents, twangs, town to town, but if your vocab's there, it don't bring me down. I love it, because it's who I am, and I'm certain it tightens my bond with the land, with the people. The sound of home, it turns out, is no sound at all. Glottal stop, glottal stop. Thank you very much. Are you all warm enough, by the way? Sorry, had to make a joke. It feels amazing to be performing again after so long. Welcome to you all, and I'm going to bring up our first performer of the night. If you please welcome to the stage, James Walton. Quite sensitive, like.
What? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I don't want to sound too close. I'm lazy enough as it is. Brings me back to my karaoke days. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, my stuff's kind of not as good. Yeah, I've only just started doing it, so yeah. I always start with this one because I guess it just kind of gets the crowd nice and loosey-goosey. So it's called Pop Roll, by the way. I actually wrote this. Don't put the image in your head, but I actually wrote it whilst I was sat in the toilet. So here goes. Cushion layers enriched with lotion, soft and fragrance for every bell motion. Always follow this strict routine. It's damn sure to keep your bum all clean. Must always wipe from front to back when cleaning up your dirty ass crack. Use enough roll to make a boxing glove on your fist. Make sure there's plenty so there's not covered in. You know what I was going to say. Once the mess is cleared, use one last layer to make sure it's all disappears. Pull up your kecks and check on your poo. Then it's all good to flush paint blue. Now to initiate, the final demands is to lather up in soap and wash those hands. And that's my advice for anyone using the toilet. Which kind of leads into the next. You'll kind of get a feel of, I'm talking about a lot of shit here, but yeah, this one is about, I'm guessing we've all had a visit to the takeaway before, or so this kind of, what I've just said kind of works for this situation, so I thought it was best to follow up with it. I'm hungry, need food, but I can't be asked to go to the shop today. Instead, I'll go down to the local takeaway. The cooking cottage is like a shining beam from southern fried to Italian cuisine. Munching on chicken wings, only 12% poultry. Rest made up of unidentifiable things. Greasy lips from cheesy chips. Take the sea off it, what do you get? Hips. Then in the morning, feeling the ick. Your tummy grumbles, begin feeling sick. Arsehole mumbles. But in the end, it's worth the risks. To be strapped at bogs with the squids. So, yeah, if you follow the first thing I said, and then that as well, you should be alright. Anyway, I'm going to start getting serious now. Talking about being on dole, so, not that I'm suggesting anyone else is on the dole around here. Just personal preference, to be honest. Yeah, so I called it dig out the door. Signing on the door, takes piss out your soul. Brass that's lent, won't cover the rent. Real bad news, you need scavenge for food. Forget gas and lecky, no chance for brekkie. Shoes have holes, rips and tears in your clothes. Real bad news, no money for booze. Another serious issue, the expensive price of being decent toilet tissue. A freezing couch shower, leaving you for shiver and cower. The real bad news, it worsens your blues. But I ain't got a choice but to get on door. I'll just have settled with a few quid for my soul. Again, recommending toilet. Oh, thank you, you're too polite. Yeah, this was the one I kind of wrote after me and the ex split up after a while, so tissues at the ready. Oh, toilet roll, which will be wrong. I call this me, myself and a beer. The first time in 7 years I've spent it alone. Nobody with me, nobody at the end of the phone. I'm not usually one for sentimental shine, especially on fucking Valentine's night. This time I try and find someone new. I think I found it in a beer or two. It never criticises, makes a sigh. It's by my side as I bubble and cry. I used to fucking hate me, myself and I. I could be the one, but not many that would take the choice to die. But talking with me old friend here, the beer, I guess I found something to live for. Also clear, in a drunken haze, forgetting many a dour days. But when I'm feeling down, it keeps me around. So pour it all around, for it keeps me here, just me, myself, and a beer. Yeah, I've got another one here that I've never actually done before. I call it the 11-year stretch. Don't worry, we'll get upbeat again in a minute. So, arriving on the bus, the institution stands before you. Clad in a uniform to match your peers, they take everyone's names but register. The wardens dish out the rules, any funny business or misbehaviour. But we're spending more time here, much longer. Do as we tell you, it's all for your own good, to create model citizens for the outside world. You eat when and what we tell you, an hour and an hour only will you venture into fresh air. Fighting physical violence will be met with strict and severe punishment, no matter the cause or reason. Speak when you're spoken to, out be asked, you will do. Confined to the same room, day after day, doors are closed, elder under lock and key. You may find the experience less than stimulating. The man may gander, The little bit of naughtiness piques your interest. Curve your initials in walls, on furniture, in halls. One meal throughout the day. Be quick, real quick. If you don't want some bullying, nick your pudding. See same faces every day. Some will come, some will go. Slug it out till time for go home. Some say that's prison, some say that's school. That's the life of an 11-year stretch. Thank you. I'll try and finish with something a bit more upbeat now. I've got it here. This one's called Booze, Shags and Kebabs. Friday's my favourite meet at week. On pulling Wigan Town down famous King Street. Push me hair up with a bit of a wet look gel. Douse me picks and claws in linked Africa to match the smell. Get tanked up on cheap ale and shots in local pub. Then head out early to local clubs. Girls in tie-tie dresses and big heels. All they have to do was skip a few meals. Lads with tans and super tight shirts. It's inevitable they'll get old skirt. That's if they don't get in a scrap. All macho bullshit. I hate that crap. I stand all pale, loaded up on ale. So drunk I'm surprised I live telltale. Just like the sober up on down eating chips. The girl at Mayo caught in your lips. All I want from meat is a world-class shag. And what I end up with is a piss poor 10 bag. So good night, God bless, I need your rest from the sesh. Thank you.
One more time, James Water. Next up, we have Seki Lynch. Is Seki Lynch in the house? No. Okay. One moment. In that case, next up we have Ella Sanderson. Ella Sanderson? Yay!
Hi, I'm Ella Sanderson, and I write poetry about Asperger's and things that inspire me. Introduce me. Ella, then I'm chosen by a 2-year-old boy, and discovered who I should be. Mistakes made, lessons learned, and I found the magic love she deserves. Stand up, speak out, I want to be heard. No longer hiding away, this is how I cope and act as I can. This is how I get through each day. Ella, and then chosen by a 2-year-old boy. I've lived, I've still to live. Who should be? Oh, should go? Ella. Autism is not caused by a vaccine. I'm grateful we are not a vaccine mistake, a jab gone wrong, evidence for a case, a money-making scheme. Being human, just like you. Live on this planet, just like you. Have a place here. We need no cure, we are not a disease. So have your injection, fight the virus. Autism is not a vaccine mistake. I'm no longer diagnosed with Asperger's. I don't agree. Dear Hans Asperger's, did you know when you struggle this way of thinking, it's brain difference, that one day it's scrapped? We design, they say, but really it's burnt ashes. Underneath is trapped, to go further and further into the shadows, and dementia and forgotten, wanted out. But the ghost of Asperger's still remains. I wrote this the other day after talking to my brother and about meltdowns and about me and about how things are for me. I have Asperger's, not illness, you see. I'm struggling to fit in to society and being. Compressed into a box where I have no key. Meltdowns are unfortunately a reality. Panics I have, but clearly do not. I'm trying to run, but I'm feeling very hot. Just by the rules that I need to conform. People say I'm not the norm. I saw Spurgeon on illness, you see. I've often fit in society and ring. So I'm going to be on BBC Sound soon, and so this piece is going to be on there. And my Twitter is lsanson18 if you want to find my work. Thank you. I had a job, but several jobs are really similar after this one. Disability at work. You have Asperger's, put on a website to boost their ego. It's with conscious the fact they're not. They push you down to the bottom of the pile. How disabilities that sit and get dust in the corner, like tins of sky to paint. Different. What is that? Fall into place, into line. Which paint on a canvas? I blur. So I'm going to read a few about lockdown now because, I want to document it so I don't forget. So this one's about how lots of people sticking inside and looking at rooms on the screen and scared to go out. Lifeless. The world carries on, you do not. Hold you by the numbers you see, death is imminent. The door is gone. Living inside a box, controlled by blue lights on the screen, you've lost your meaning. After I had to write a poem about songs of lockdown, and my brother played the piano in lockdown and played the Beatles songs quite a lot, so it sounds for me. Music. Patriotic music and the cheering of many. Their voices connect with mine and they share this turbulent kind. Stand up, be proud, for English we are. Getting for the bad what we do, a cup of tea will fix it. The Beatles cry out as can let me fly. The blackbird will free from the keys. Sounds in my head now, expressing despair. Still a virus, I need to be aware. This is not over, the fight is not won. There's still many songs need to be sung. More positive on lockdown. Angel of the end. Haircut, a new start. But also the end. And step outside. Hugs aloud, say no to the crowds. Pick up your drums and bang your beat. Let's lead this lockdown and start a new heat. This one was for a competition about kindness. Take somebody out of a muddy field into a dry one, bursting with daffodils. Shake someone's hand and smile in their direction. In a sparkle like a lake with the sun. Take forward out of your box. And your vision multicoloured. Act now with kindness. This is my last poem. Hope you enjoyed me tonight. Hope you can look at my Twitter, lsanson18, to find my work scheme on BBC Sounds. I feel most free when I'm performing, saying the words are carefully crafted. Ooze out from me, spot on the page. Have my voice and I use it. Chit chat I find hard, pint glass day on day. But the stage is where I'm free. I'm finding myself and I'm full of me. Thank you.
Twitter, lsanson18, I work with BBC Sounds and stuff. Very, very cool. I'll just get our next performer. Can you tell me if you're here, Clarice Ridley? No? Okay. Daniel Goffin. Is Daniel Goffin here? No. Okay. In that case, Ali Pritchard. Would you get up here, please? Everybody, give me a round of applause.
Hello. I don't know if it was going to be too high for me, but it's just like that. Okay. So my name's Ali Pritchard, and I write wholesome poetry for the whole family to enjoy. Sorry, I'm just loading my screenshots now. So I thought because we're in a church, this one's quite fitting, so I'm Welsh and this is the Welsh prayer. Our Father who art in Harlech, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy Wrexham, in Aries as it is in Give us this day our daily Holyhead, and forgive us who trespass, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into Poseidon, and deliver us from ruin. For thine is the kingdom, the Pandy, and the Swansea, for Ballon and Bowler, Bridge End. This is called Smelly Bust Blues. What's that smell that smells like hell? If hell was built on piles of shit and soaked with melted mouldy baby bell. Only time will tell who dealt this smell as I ride this bus and dwell. Oh, mama, can this really be the end? To be stuck inside the cheesy citadel with the smelly bus blues again. This one's called Ignorance is Bliss. Her tongue tastes like polystyrene, thought the man, as he locked lips with the woman under the misshapen street lamp. The man was actually kissing the box his burger came in. He mistaken it for a woman while simultaneously intoxicated and horny. Ignorance is bliss. This is called Hard to Stomach. He finds irony hard to digest. The word sends him into deep distress. How about this for an ironic twist? He's a gastroenterologist. This is called Clean Up on Aisle 7. The man played an afternoon matinee of embarrassment in his mind, while his arched gaze within his trousers growled loudly, tired of being confined. His legs quivered and bent inwards like a square drawn wrong. His arms, now long and narrow, could rival Stretch Armstrong. He tried to silence his increasing rubetosis as the turd on the run parted his cheeks like Moses. The roars became louder and scanned the supermarket and was smiled at by an old dear, his face awash with guilt as he soaked her pink bumps with a crash of violent diarrhea. This is called Sometimes Love. Sometimes love is a sweet toothed cup of tea, sometimes love is the backside of a bee. Sometimes love resembles awe-inspiring architecture, sometimes love can parallel pungent piss-soaked furniture. Sometimes love has the mighty strength of Samson's hair, sometimes love is susceptible to wear and tear. This is called The Revolution Will Be Live Streamed. When the revolution finally happened, I was shocked because it was for a tedious reason. It felt like there was a lot of build-up and we got a flat finale at the end of the season. Don't get me wrong or twisted, I'm quite happy with the outcome. I just thought I'd get a large meal rather than a little crumb. I always thought society was going to collapse and spiral into crisis when people got too fucking fed up with the continuous increase in Freddo prices. So this is my last poem, and this one needs a bit of context just in case it doesn't get taken the wrong way. But so I wrote this because I saw a lot of people online saying like, be kind. They were doing horrible things, and they were using be kind as a defense, when really that's not what it's there for. So this is what that's about. I shot a man in Wrexham just to watch him die. The police called me red-handed and said I'd be bracing to lie. I pleaded not guilty, so they punched me in the gut and then dragged me by my curlies to court. A conviction looked certain, so I chanced my last resort. The prosecution watching licked their lips with glee as this scumbag with a paper-thin defence made his final plea. I looked at the judge, the jury, and the man's family in the eye. I said, when making your verdict, please bear this in mind. In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Have a quick job, everybody! Ask if Seki Lynch has arrived or Clarice Ridley. Yes. Would you like to come up? Yes, sir. Everybody give a round of applause. Keep it going. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
1,
Yeah, so right out the gate, my name's Sekai Lynch. I'll read a couple of poems to you. This is called The Feast. When I dream of you, all of you. I dream of a great table, a banquet in the forest. I dream of Xenia and every guest playing host. A billion hands cooking favoured dishes, laced with laughter, pricked and peppered with spices, salted with tears, stalks thickened with blood. And a course there too, as I knew you would be. Eyes dizzy with love. The great banquet table, laid with porcelain jugs, fashioned as fish, mosaic patterns, mosaic plates of familiar patterns, cutlery which fits as is smithed for the bearer's own hand, napkins of fine linen. At a touch, we remember other lives. Usually so careful of my words, I dream of you, and they pour from me. In hearing these, your own thoughts spill out. The banquet is our secret, and our telling of it. Reunited, the dogs in our chests curl upon themselves to settle flop-eared into their corners of the heart. Already the wine is flowing. I slip out unnoticed among the bustling, the dancing and singing. In the forest garden, I slow by the waterfall, which is breathing in the silence of the moonlight. Far from the gathering, only the tender waters hushing, as it tries to restrain the excitement of meeting with itself. In the water's mirrored tryst, the sauvette of the party. Back at the feast, a furnace of mingling and flirting and charms exchanged. Essential metal is being formed. Each guest, alchemist and mineral, polished mirror and reflected gold. As we eat, we begin to forget. We forget our age and begin to lose our accents. When asked, we can't recall our favourite song. We forget our names and the names of our beloveds. We forget our self-consciousness and our scars. Empty and full, our laughter flows. The wine too flows, and we guests begin to embrace. We merge as fire meets fire. In reuniting, we realize we were never apart. A foot tips a candle, the tablecloth catches. We are the threads and the flames, crackling into everbeing, a drunken inferno. Thank you. This is called Wine and Jug. Remember, friends, remember. Remember the time before mirages and visions and believing you can see things more than you can see. Remember the time before self-hatred and self-deception, before you had anything to hide, before the self you saw was something you couldn't be. Remember the other world, when we were never separate, when we followed each other as the wine follows the jug, as they're transported. We were once wine and jug. We journeyed together, each as one. Remember our adventures as one. And if we were unloaded, we both cast one shadow, an image brought alive by the sun, an image which graced our feet until we were stowed away again, until we followed an unknown path once again. We were drunk together for hours, happily alone amongst the other urns, under the cool of a canvas sky, until one night we arrived, as we all do, at our place of party, taken to a rooftop where the tiles were cold and blue, and the stone kept the heat of day long into night. You were decanted and drunk by soldiers to be emptied into pots, or women, or dust. I was left empty until broken by a drunken fool who stumbled into the table at sunrise. It will not be for 1,000 lifetimes, and we'll see many more in between. But one day, I will be wine, and you will be jug. Opposite and the same, you'll carry me inside your cool shell. We'll be together again. I will be wine, and you will be jug. And we'll be drunk together again. Until then, I'll wait here on this rooftop, buried 2,000 years underground. Thank you. This is called Ken. You began in fire, a white crack in grey sky. Beetle bore cone, dried in flames, you fell to the burnt firs beneath, still warm, nestled in their heat. Back as a germ, as a seedling, you pushed and kicked, embryonic, waking in the darkened womb of the earth. The burned womb brought your birth. The birds swooped still and chirped and beat earthworms as you watched. Rivers ran against salmon streams, retracing eons as your ancestors looked on. Later, you took nourishment from fog, the great mystic of the woods, keeping your evergreens cloaked as moonlight lit clouds round your branches. And in the quiet, the hours flight, as the crickets mocked the morning, you knew the world had been waiting for you before the dawn bird, before the bat flew. Later still, wind brought knowledge to your leaves, everything from screams to whispers, the secrets of sleep, of canopy, cave, and seabed. And you, Sequoia, wrote the language of wisdom, wrote it in rings as you aged, breeze-blown breaths, first and last, visions of the present and dreams of the past. Years later, cool night rested over the wood, cooled your bowl, cooled water in your xylem. But fire came again, scorched your bark, scorched where the carpenter and kin carved their names deep into you. Still you grew. Still you grew. I call you redwood. I call you redwood. I call you freedom. I call you love. Thank you.
Give it up, everyone, for Sir Colin! Fantastic. Okay, we're going to take our first break now, I think, and we'll be back at about 7:10, because we're starting the break 5 minutes early. Let me know if you're here, and I'll tick you off the list if you haven't performed yet and you're going to perform. And enjoy yourselves and get some drinks and stuff. See you soon.
Did you feel me zoning in? I think you should submit as well, actually.
I totally will. Just like that.
Last week we did a show. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not proud to stay.
I'm happy to let you do it. I'll do it.
Okay. I'll do maybe a show at the I'll check before I go online. But One more round. Jack.
Can she hear it?
Yeah, she can hear something. So she can hear you then.
Nice one, James. That was wicked. Thank you. Did you enjoy it? Yeah, of course you are. That's what we
Probably
want.
that's like that minute I looked up and I was like, Jesus, she's just like in his usual pose. Like that. And I was like, oh. He was expecting to sit down and then just, yeah, I thought I would sit down and just burst into flames.
Yeah. So, maybe we still will at some point. Could finish the show
I know, yeah. Wait.
with a bang.
Hey, how's it going? You alright?
This is said son I was telling you about before.
Is that you alright?
He's totally been like through the
Oh, yes. There's Dennis
So I
that
said,
I've
I'm
brought.
gonna tell him to come over. I'm gonna come over.
Oh, you even have a phone. Oh.
So I was thinking that, yeah, if you've got stuff that he's doing and things like that, and he wants like a web page or something like that. There are all these technical things that don't
fix you up for the next minutes or however many balls you throw.
Yeah, make sure you proceed.
Probably another 5 minutes. I've stolen some of these. Yeah, last time. See you guys. 5 maybe. That's what I'm definitely. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm on roof, you know. Yeah, I like it. A bit nervous. You like it? Yeah. You get nervous? Just people. Frightened. Totally. Cortisol high. Running thing. Yeah.
someone here to make an announcement about a really cool thing. So do you want to explain it? Everybody, D3 is going to tell us all about this. So
Oh, this is a bit tall. I'll just do this. I'll sit tall because everybody's probably taller than me. I would have moved the whole mic stand. So I'm D3. I am a spoken word artist, but I'm not on the board tonight. But I also produce and host a spoken word radio show called Loudspeaker on Chapel FM. So I want to let you guys all know about it. We obviously play spoken word. So we're always doing call-outs for poets to get involved and submit their work. So I want to tell you about that. You can find us on Facebook at Loudspeaker Radio Show, and it will tell you, we've got a post on there that will tell you the different topics that we're doing episodes about. I know the next one's Pride and Poetry, we've got climate change coming up. You can find the dates and things on there. But the email address you need to submit to is loudspeakerradioshow@gmail.com. Write it down. Get a pen. This is what my dad would say. Get a pen, write it down. Get a pen, write it down. Loudspeakerradioshow@gmail.com. So yeah, follow us on Facebook and then you can find out what upcoming shows and what topics we're kind of calling out for. Thank you, Jack, for that opportunity.
Okay, give a round of applause. I will be submitting to that as well, so amazing. Right, we are just on time for our next performer, who is, please give a big round of applause to Laura Graham. You can stay to see that the mic is the right thing.
Yes, that seems good.
Is that good?
Yes, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Laura. Where to go after it? I'm going to do 3 poems. I might do 4. See how it goes. The first one is a perimenopausal love poem. And a lot of people don't know the difference between perimenopause and menopause. And the difference is menopause is technically 6 months after your last period. And perimenopause is the 10 years before that where you get into anxiety, while swimming and poetry. So, you know now, it's like weird and wonderful. That's the perimenopause. So, this poem is called I Love You, but it has a swear. Close your ears if you don't like that. I love you, but will you please fuck off? It's not personal. Well, it is a bit. But I need to hibernate. I'm in a chrysalis state. Dinner might be late because doing things just doesn't feel that great. I love you, but will you please fuck off? I'm brooding like a teenage goth. I'm tired like a sleepless sloth. I'm fragile like a bulb-scorched moth. I love you, but will you please fuck off? For 18 years I've gazed at your beautiful face and now I just need space and time and silence. I love you, but the sound of you masticating makes me feel death will be liberating. It's a full system reset I'm operating. It's me 3.0 that I'm creating. So please fuck off. I love you, but I need to fuck off. I need to go swimming with fleshy-thighed women whose estrogen levels are dimming in the crystalline waters of don't give a shit. I need to be with people who don't need me. I just need to be. I've just got them on cards for Zoom, but I've got a bit more. I've got the start of it on mute, which I didn't need to do. I love you. Did I already say fuck off? My brain is melting like a midsummer chocolate log. Words are evasive like a neighbour's lost dog. My mind is clouded with low-hanging. What through shared memories, responsibilities, dependencies. The gesture of an artist, chased down a Paris street. An impression of Real Housewives on Pika with Frank Sidebottom that no one else gets. Our son's first steps. You bring me tea in bed, clean up my gin-soaked vomit, find it hard to find the words, but quietly sort out the mortgage. Your heart is the metronome of mine. It might appear to your untrained eye that I'm mostly doing now, but I'm putting the emotional bins out. I'm doing free fast-track therapy. I'm having a beautiful affair with me. So just top up my Yorkshire tea, then kindly, please fuck off. That's from my husband, if you don't get it. He actually likes it, so it's fine. Right, the next poem is called Yoga Class, and I wrote it about that yoga class I really love, but it makes me feel a bit weird. And I read it to my friend, who's more articulate than me, and she said, oh yeah, that's about cultural appropriation and commodification of Eastern spirituality. Yes, that's what it's about. I wrote it about that weird feeling in yoga when you're sort of into it, but it can be a bit awkward. So, yoga class. It's not about touching your toes. It's about what you learn on the way down. The saying goes. Find a space. Avoid proximity to pranayamic bedroom owner, off-duty yoga teachers, the one who snores. Roll out your mat, fully arrive. Breathe in. Breathe out everything that happened before this moment. Do not develop formulas of max minus overheads to calculate profit margin. Let go of your Western sensibilities. Feel the sensation as you vinyasa into downward dog, hamstrings emitting a silent scream. This will pass. You are safe here. Nothing is expected of you. Enjoy India's greatest export. As you drop from head into body, be aware of something greater than self. You are a speck of dust in the universe, here for a mere millisecond. You are a peaceful warrior who passes gas through overpriced lycra and silently sobs in Shavasana. You are perfect, just as you are. All this will pass. Rest is a rebellious act. All this will pass. Discounts on 10 class pass. Thank you. I'm going to do a really short, cheeky bonus poem. This is called Bat. Your vagina looks like a bat that has folded its wings and hangs from the roof of a cave, said my son. 4 years old. I was taken aback. The most beautiful thing ever said about my lady crack. Thank you. Quite a good description and very creative. So he'll be mortified if he knows I've written it. He's 9 now, but got a few more years to get out of it. Right, the last poem I'm going to do, I wrote for a slam. So it's quite a sort of strident poem, and it's about midlife. It's about being a midlife woman again, which is something I write about quite a lot. And it's called Midlife Manifesto. I will take up space, not just as my once whittled waist escapes its restraint, but because I exist. I will not jump aside for strangers. I will sit alone in the pub, happily impervious to the heat-seeking rays of male gaze. I will keep dancing, with like no one is watching caveat. I am a real-life midlife goddess. You may watch if you want. I will drink more water, draw deep bursting breaths of song-filled air and gaze at stars. I will not buy a live, laugh, love sign, but religiously follow this home-based Holy Trinity. I will not judge people who buy live, laugh, love signs. I will not judge people for oversharing in team calls by using words such as overshare. I will not judge my achievements and find them lacking. I'll sort out a pension, I'll get that smear test, I'll learn the difference between a list poem and just a to-do list. I will hold space, listen to older people, entwine their memories with mine, be their custodian, their witness, their archivist. I will notice the pure presence of a smartphone-free octogenarian and put down my phone. I will not hold back, sharing decades-worn wisdom as the space between thought and word elongates. I'll share stories of analogue childhood like the last living Victorian. I'll tell young women the mysteries of menopause, an ending of thoughts, but the most transformative time of your life. I will give myself space. Understand that annoyance at adults with grandparents is really unprocessed grief. People with 2 kids, the same. Adults with great-grandparents are taking the piss, in my opinion. I'll stop putting off things I don't do because I won't do to the utmost perfection. I'll find joy in imperfect but done. Like my glorious, hedonistic, meandering youth. Like this manifesto for a magnificent midlife. Thank you.
Next up, she's just over there. So everyone gives a warm welcome to Leanne Brown.
Is that right, everyone? So this time last year, I wasn't a poet. I had newly been recruited to Laura's cult of fleshy-thighed women. I was doing some open water swimming and got signed up to a group called Scribblers Union, which is a Glasgow-based but Zoom-based during lockdown poetry collective. I met some amazing people, made some brand new friends and some poems. And it turns out that I really needed to write them. This one is from our book, Scribblers Union Volume 1, Volume 2 coming soon. It's available on Amazon. There's some amazing poets in it, some of whom are here tonight. And this first poem is called The Trick Is. It took an eternity to remember how to breathe at your funeral. The sight of your unadorned coffin defeated my diaphragm, my chest, a void, a vacuum. It took an age for my heart to restart when the celebrant said you were brave. Sharp synchronized breath filled the chapel of rest, igniting debate for the wake. It took a year of waiting to feel normal again, to accept that I never will. The wound you inflicted will never infill. You said I would be okay. You'll get over it. It was up to you. No one's business. No one's right to interfere. You said you weren't going to be old. No intention of being bedbound, cared for by strangers. You decided I'd be okay without traffic caught bothering road trips. I'd be okay without loud cackling in quiet restaurants. I'd be okay without my ally. You decided. Dear Megan, 3 years on, how can I ever tell you? You were wrong. Thank you. So, after that, I decided it would be a good idea to try and write something cheerier. And I may or may not have succeeded. I'll let you be the judge. This one's called Red Flags. There's a form of colour blindness where you can't tell red from green. I've a rarer, metaphoric form where warnings can't be seen. In the throes of a romance, I can't interpret what they mean, for I have a blind spot for red flags. He'll say things that should cause alarm. I'll run at them full pelt. Pals may raise their eyebrows, but I cannot be tell. The gut feelings that others feel, for me they only felt, for I have a blind spot for red flags. For example, at the pictures, when we see a Star Wars prequel, he's furious to know it looks more modern than the sequel. When I explain, he shouts me down. My Beamer has no equal. But I do have a blind spot for red flags. So when he crawls back and explains that he was having a bad day, some illness in his family, and a mix-up with his pay, I feel sad for him that this cruel world has treated him that way. Truly, I have a blind spot for red flags. Gradually, I realise that he's moved into my flat. He looked after me when Gran died, and he never went home after that. He sells it as a kindness, so if I object, I'll be a twat. Maybe I could have questioned that red flag. Now, he insists that he loves me, and I'm the apple of his eye. And if I've lost weight, I'd be quite pretty. And if I loved him, I would try. Then he would pledge his lasting love till all the seas gan dry. And the rabbit coat disarms me, so I let that red flag go by. We party, because we're youngsters, and he can fair turn on the charm. And in public, he's attentive and proud to have me on his arm. Sometimes in private, he's a meanie, but it's rare, so where's the harm? An odd bad day, surely not a red flag. We both know something's not right, so to fix it, we get wed. A commitment I'm now sure will fix his insecure sad head. We're now free to make a fresh start, but he quits his job instead. And I fear, dearly beloved, seeing this red flag. So I need to pay the mortgage, so work and work some more. We see each other less, and so it gets worse than before. He gambles through the joint account and punches through a door, and fear now makes me conceal the red flags. His tempers are spectacular. They bring me to my knees, like when I use his Wensleydale, I should know that that's his cheese. He throws it in a puddle and he cannot be appeased, and I feel too ashamed to name the red flags. I stay away more often, and my career begins to fly, and I'm surprised to find that there are folk that I'm admired by. He's jealous, he gets physical, and I'm now so numbed I cannot cry. Do I deserve this for triggering those red flags? Now, I wonder who that girl was, and why she thought that she deserved to live in fear of violence. It was a normal way to be. I'm really glad that she escaped, and she is loving being free. But it saddens me now all she sees are red flags. This last one that I'm going to read, I wrote it to the friend that the first poem was about after she'd gone, but I didn't get very far into it before realising who really needed to hear it. So this poem is now called Note to Self. You are not uniquely faulty. There is nothing inherently despicable about you, and you should not listen to the ghost landlord in your head. He is long gone. You need not believe the echoes of his voice. He no longer makes the rules. He never did. Grant yourself permission to believe that you are as important as anybody else. Behold the people who believe in you. They are many. Believe them. They are not fools and should not be disparaged. You need not walk alone. Learn to kindle the glimmers you felt forced to quench. Accept that you're a beautiful and unique human being. Fallible and imperfect and complex and wonderful. Learn to love yourself. Believe you are worthy of love.
Last time this person performed, so I'm very excited to see her again. Everybody give it up for Victoria Leeson!
This feels a bit strange. Right. I've got 4 or 5 poems, depending on how I do the time. This one is a good 3 minutes long, so bear with me, I hope you enjoy it. It basically describes the moment that I realised I needed to leave my job as a school counsellor because the mental health systems that I was working in for children and young people were broken, and now I write about it. This moment, carried on the air of school corridors, swallowed whole by blazers, trodden under pubescent souls, nurtured and birthed in the years we hold, relating, interacting, caring, sharing. This moment fired from your whole being, landing in the space unseen between conscience and truths unspoken. This moment when you say, "Tell me again why you're leaving this." This moment gives me options to utilise my truth that where lies weaved around habitual words, whispered yet disguised as wise, and inhabit inauthentic spit beside my intuit to commit the vibration of my vocal folds. But I pause to place on hold the untold in answer to this moment. This moment shocked my epiglottis, drops, tongue flops as anticipatory shortened vowels and glottal stops. Disembowel this pretense I exist in. This moment prompts my arms to wrap around your need to be seen through unpicked seams, sewn by shame and tied by the unspoken that's interwoven in your school cardigan. And this moment smokes through the cracks of my fears, my hidden tears, the leaks of ignorance from more powerful ears. This moment when you say, "Tell me again why you're leaving this," and I take an inhale of breath, whilst watching words float like dust motes that pout and gloat, resolute in their approach, behaviour, attendance, attainment, failing, despairing. This moment restraining, echoing the space I have been residing in, and yet if I dare, if I allow the expansion within, allow my breaths to begin, exhaling, dispelling, disempowerment, depression, the suspension of lies that have left me compromised, demoralised, disenfranchised, radicalised by white Western supremacy that shouts the legitimacy of your short-term therapy with a medicalised verbal ease and stitched together outcome measures. This moment deserves an answer, and this moment brings me to. Tell me again? Why are you leaving this? Because it's shit. 5 years of shit, eh, miss? Yep. So if you leave, is that you fucking the system? Yeah. Are you going to do things differently? Yeah. Good on you, miss. You can build your own fucking system. That moment brings me here. Thank you. So continuing the theme of sort of children and young people's mental health, this is a poem that was written after I'd heard a poem by an American poet called Kim Adonzio, I think I pronounced that right, which is entitled, her poem is entitled To the Woman Crying Uncontrollably in the Next Door. Mine's called To the Kids with Tears in Their Eyes in a Crowded School Corridor. If you ever lost your dinner card, sat with an empty stomach, wanting someone to notice, moved away from the school bully, hid your self-injury, despised the adult who didn't get it, longed for boundary touch, stood together and felt lonely, cried in secret, wanted your teddy to act, backed away from strangers' kindness. If you ever felt the gaze of value, remembered the hold of Granny's heart, looked back and noticed allies that didn't wear glass eyes, heard others speak your name and not shout it. Hold on, we see you, this will change. Thank you. So this is it's another manifesto poem, and this is for anybody that works with young people and is feeling a bit worn down by the system that we seem to be in, that's not meeting our needs or not meeting theirs. And it's called Manifesto for Workers of the Young. We see your broken systems and we will not be silenced. We rise above assessment scores, outcome measures, attainment grades, and nurture the young person beneath. We declare battle against tick box interventions that assuage the state's collective guilt. We believe in our young people and endeavour to raise their voices as they challenge their distinct lack of choices of mental health provision littered with disparity and division. We will treat all with enthusiasm, curiosity, compassion. This is our mission. We will connect, we will collaborate, we will empower, and we will advocate. Our use of words will always be poetic, for it is poetry that will make the young people powerful. Thank you. Short ones to end up with. Hopefully I'm not too over time. This is another poem that I wrote a couple of weeks ago. My granny and my dad were big believers in my writing. I used to write when I was a kid, and then I was told that I couldn't really write and I wasn't very good at it by school teachers, so I stopped. And then thanks to the Scribblers Union and the encouragement of people like Leanne and Laura, I've started again. It hasn't got title at the moment. My grandma leaves a puddle of tea in the tip of a teaspoon on the worktop and pats my head with bleached fingers. I smile and feel the weight of expectation. Hope lies in the eyes of the Labrador as the biscuit barrel opens and custard cream is lifted to my lips. My grandma, mother of 7, tells me, "You are my 8th child." The hinges of the front door open and sing. Thank you. So, to finish off on something a bit more light-hearted, I don't know about you folks, but I've really missed live music and being in venues like the amazing Left Bank. I've particularly missed being at the Breedendale Social Club. And this poem is an ode to the Breedendale Social Club and is called Not Knowing You. I want to be jostled, bumped into, nudged and stood on, feel the heat of others and their pungent intrusion. I want to have dregs of beer drip down me back, have an elbow fight with strangers whilst keeping in sight of the laugh. I want to say after you, even though I don't have to, at a capacity bar before necking double vodka. I want to feel the slip of my grip on a plastic glass, make a wobble in return due to drunken intuit. I want to feel the beat of repeats reverberate through my feet as the melody that's a friend to me plays out towards the cheap seats. I want to be amongst you, against you, alongside you, and through you. I want all of that, the sheer pleasure of not knowing you. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage, I've seen him about somewhere, Nicky Longthorne, there he is, give him a round of applause. I think this will be about...
Evening everyone, can you hear me okay if I'm at that level, yeah?
Yeah.
Has everyone had a good night so far?
Yeah.
Nice to be out again, isn't it? Right, the first one I'm going to do is kind of one that's by way of an introduction, really. My name's actually Matthew Nicholson, but there's another poet on the scene who goes by Matt Nicholson, and he's a lot more prolific than I am, so it's just easy to change my fucking name. And I'm never going to, when you can't even be the best version of yourself, it's, you know. So this is, hi, my name is Nicky, I don't know which meeting to attend. I'm depressed as fuck and have a neurological condition, high cholesterol and a gambling addiction. I'm overweight and past my best, it's clear to see I'm a fucking mess. Social anxiety and scared to mingle. With so much to offer, how am I still single? Cheers. I don't want you to get the impression it's going to be all light-hearted, that's just not me. I'm from Leeds, it's grew up north and, you know, sometimes you're right that way. So, now and again light-hearted stuff does trickle out when I least expect it. Most of the time it's quite dark. This next one is from a time, about 8 years ago my mum died. This is a poem that I wrote about that time. And it's called One Last Cigarette, An Endless Cup of Tea. Let's have another cigarette and one last cup of tea. The words exchanged in early hours between us so frequently. Talking, planning, shedding tears. We put the world to rights. Dark humour often present to get us through those nights. We joked selecting bad taste songs to play at your cremation. The only way we could ensure that we had that conversation. No subject was ever taboo, releasing thoughts from head. You said it was important. We should be a long time dead. Delighted that we shared that view. It eased us through that time. Being there for you when needed. The privilege was mine. This next one's kind of pre-COVID, but it's a situation that I think a lot more, unfortunately, a lot more families are going to be experiencing because of the tight grip of the government, should we call them? Reptilians, whatever you want to call them. Inhumane bastards of the highest order. This is, yeah, that's worth it. This next one is a tribute to single mums, really. It's not really about anyone specifically, it's just, it could be about any number of women out there. It's called Another Working Class Hero. She's got 2 part-time jobs and works her fingers to the bone. A single mum with no support from him, but she made that house a home. Empty promises of child support to help to feed her pack. Every bloke she's ever known's always fucked off and turned her back. She doesn't feel resentment. She never has the time. If she gets an hour to herself each day, she swears that she'll be fine. Her life's always a struggle, and money's always tight. She often uses doorstep lenders for a loan to see her right. Exploiters of the working class, corrupters of the poor. However ruined she may be, they'll keep on offering more. She's a regular at the cash converter where she pawns the kids' PlayStation. A monthly embarrassment faced inside this fucked up situation. A gas and liquor run on meters, and both have large arrears. She'll have it all paid back eventually, but it's gonna take her years. Now she's back in the emergency, and there's nothing in the tank. There's no money left for shopping, so she's forced to use the food bank. Life shouldn't be this way, if only the class divide was thinner. She's struggling to be both parents and the sole breadwinner. She's living hand to mouth, she's firmly fixed in poverty. Modern day Britain imitating a Dickensian tragedy. This ain't a tale of 2 cities, but a story told in every town. Though it broke her heart, she felt relief when her eldest got sent down. It's not because she's heartless, or because she doesn't care, but now there's one less hungry mouth to feed for the time he spends in there. This next one's a personal piece. A girlfriend I was with at the time, I've struggled with my mental health most of my life. I've just been a Leeds fan. You know, it's hard, you know, even now it's still hard. I learned to cry as a Leeds fan, you know. You've got to let the emotion out, so it's either that or self-harming. Anyway, what were I going to say? Where am I? Back in the room. Personal one, thank you. Yeah. This is a girlfriend, and she used to level it at me. She used to say, have you any idea how difficult it is for me to be with you because you're depressed? And I used to apologise to myself and make excuses for why I was the way. I was like, I'm fucking ill. You know, why should I be responsible for anything other than my own health? I can't be responsible for her or how she reacts in it. It was only after we split up that I didn't get bitter with her, but it annoyed me that she put that on me. And I thought, well, what about how I feel in this? So I wrote this poem, and it's called I Gave You Everything I Have. You ask me if I have any idea how difficult it is for you to be with me. My eyes gloss over into a confused stare. I spit laughter loudly into the open air because I really want to cry. It's just, I'm not ready for you to see that again. You mistake my laughter for mockery as I try to hide the truth away inside amid the torment and self-loathing, the lack of confidence and crippling self-doubt. Muted again by illness, only the shuffling of uncomfortable feet breaks the silence. I should tell you how it took me 3 days to build the bravery to leave my bed to board a bus to come and be with you. The heightened levels of stress at taking a shower, the pain of getting dressed, and the anxiety of meeting you in a crowded place. But I don't. Instead, I'm left feeling vulnerable and exposed, backed into the corner of a busy street, slouching childlike, staring down at my feet. Not in disappointment, like a last-minute cancellation, but destroyed because getting here took everything I have. You make your excuses, we say our goodbyes, and as I watch you walk away again, I can't help wondering, have you any idea how difficult it is for me to be with you? Thank you. You've been a brilliant audience. I'm going to leave you with one the other light-hearted one I've got, I suppose, in the locker. It's not really got a title, but the situation is, if anyone's ever tried to order a takeaway where there's more than, say, 2 or 3 people in the household at the time, yeah, there's a few of you in. Right, there we go. like a Mexican standoff, but eyes won't dare to look, as each housemate has forgotten whose turn it is to cook. Nobody can be asked in truth for the beers already flowing. It's like a game of poker and nobody's hands are showing. Another hour passes and faces start to frown, the suggestion of a takeaway no housemate dare turn down. Decisive action needed, so which one we're going to use, perusing 16 different menus. Christ, will someone fucking choose? French, Japanese, Italian, Turkish, tapas or Thai. Unpretentious twat what's Lebanese. All housemates wish he'd die. He says he'd have a Chinese, but they never really fill him. If he doesn't pick a curry soon, somebody's going to kill him. Why don't we order Nepalese or maybe Madagascan? Which curry do you want? Because I'm getting tired of asking. But I don't like coriander. Then order it without. I'll give you coriander in a minute, comes the shout. Right, that's it. We've had enough. You can have a biryani. I'll fuck off into the kitchen and go make yourself a salmon. Right, who's up for a starter? Shall we get a pickle tray? I tell you, if I don't eat soon, I'm going to waste away. That means we need some poppadoms, how many want a naan? I can't believe it's now 2 hours since this shit began. Everybody's struggling, and the tension's getting stronger. We're starving, and we don't feel we can take it for much longer. I could eat a scabby horse! A housemate shouts up from the back, grabbing the Xbox controller, standing poised and ready to attack. It's getting proper serious. It's like a hostage situation. All eyes fixed on the pretentious twat now in a state of isolation. If you were more decisive and much less of a prick, we wouldn't all be standing around feeling like we might be sick. Just dial the fucking number, ask how much it's going to cost. But remember, give directions, yeah? Because last time we got lost. Thanks for listening. I've been Mr. Armstrong. Cheers.
One more time for the Waffle!
Alright everyone, go and get a drink, get out the room, have a day. I'll see you in 15 minutes.
church. How good is that? Can we all give a round of applause for our third and final part of Spoken Word and Waffles? I'm going to call our first performer right up, and I'd like you to welcome to the stage Hazel Volante.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I asked my daughter to make the words bigger so that I wouldn't have to wear my glasses. And can you see them all right? Okay. I've not read my poems out in public before, so please be gentle with me. Okay. This first one is called Technophobe. In our immersion to techno-addiction is born our modern social affliction. With voices unheard and faces unseen, we focus upon our computer screen. Texting and Facebook, now our new best friend. We witter on Twitter, on iPhones press send. With internet shopping and buying online, no need for a trolley, we're saving our time. All newfangled gadgets to keep us hands-free. No time for the park now, I'm playing on the Wii. Xboxes and iPads, whatever is next. I can't tell you now, but I'll send you a text. Our words hang so heavy in cyberspace. We'll say what we like, we can't see your face. When comments expressed cause you hurt and offend, you're not really here, you're faceless, my friend. Like Alice, our world is a looking glass place. That's alice.co. Yes, all lowercase. And to keep this virtual monster alive, we keep feeding it words so it can survive. This alien being has only one mission, to keep us from talking, create more division. With Firewall, Shield, AVG and Mozilla, our virtual hero slays its Godzilla. Where will it end, this race to technology? What price must be paid in our psychology? How do we exit this techno landscape? Tap on our keyboards, press Control and Escape. So here is my message I'll send by email, entitled The Monster Who Eats His Own Tail. Mother Earth. A planet birthed into being by cosmic winds and storms, our Mother Earth supports all life in all its many forms. A floating jewel of azure blue and hues of emerald green, a perfect sphere of teeming life, majestic like a queen. She dances in the grandest hall we call the universe, and spins upon her axis in tune with heavenly verse. The other planets flirt around, all hoping for a dance, but Mother Earth is coupled up, they'll never stand a chance. She is already spoken for, her heartbeat's just the one, a marriage made in heaven with her paramour, the sun. Power couple that they are, the sun lets his wife shine. He stands back understated while she appears divine. Up front and personal, loud and proud, she turns to catch the light. The contours of her perfect form, iconic in our sight. Her beauty is entrancing, her power is enticing. Her aura is magnetic, her pull is so inviting. Her wares are plundered daily, rich companies make a dash. The loggers fell and clear her trees for profit gain and cash. She can't sustain the habitats, her balance is out of whack. The creatures that she nurtures are now under attack. an insatiable lust for money, but what is our mother worth? Her lungs are thus infected with a virus upon the earth. The virulence of human greed has now become our curse. We need to find the antidote before things get much worse. As we contemplate the tipping point and personal tales of woe, the macrocosm booms its response, as above, so below. Well, I don't know about you, but the world at the moment is not really in a good place. Perhaps we need to inject something different that we haven't done before. Love can set us free. People of the world unite, save us from our global plight. If freedom is our human right, then let love set us free. We flounder in our national debt, like fishes caught in tangled nets, and toiling man whose path seems set, yet love can set him free. The governments and institutions espouse our rights and constitutions. We take up arms in revolutions. Only love can set us free. They hang upon their flimsy peace. They talk the talk with palms to grease. With nature's spoils they care to fleece, but love can set them free. Yet power dances with corruption to bring about our mass destruction. Man shouts in violent eruption, love will set us free. The modern age could develop our causes. Our world's equipped with all resources. Technology honed to muster our forces with love and set us free. War-torn lands and khaki warders, where fears march like dark marauders, and closing hearts become our borders, though love can set us free. Child's back is bowed, his spirit broken, his mother dead, soft words unspoken. What kind of monster is awoken? Yet love will set him free. The voice of hate and thirst for power and taste for blood is turning sour. As time approaches by the hour, love will set us free. Through sisterhood and brethren we unite our human family. With shaking hands we turn the key, unlock our hearts, now we are free. Our hearts were pillaged, forests raped, our feet were shackled, mouths were taped. With cries of freedom we escaped, love has set us free. Thank you. Sorry, but my glasses will have to come on now. Right. Have we got any mums here? I love your friend, by the way. This is called a brief interlude. And if you're not a woman and if you're not a mum, then just use your mind and try and bring some empathy into the situation. I dip my toe into an oasis of calm. Watery arms envelop like a perfect balm. The silky soft foam tickles my limbs in playful jest like a lover's glimpse. Makeup devoid, face scrubbed shiny and bare. My mask removed, clean wet dripping hair. Incense wafting, scented candles glowing, helping me contemplate my inner knowing. No dusting or cleaning or carpets to back, no shopping or cooking or lunches to pack. No one's daughter or wife, mum or taxi just now. Just me and myself that this time will allow. Relaxing my body as I close my eyes, I lay back my head and I moisturise. Transporting myself to some sandy shore, golden beach, turquoise sea, palm trees galore. Then suddenly back to here where I lay, those balmy warm thoughts are wrenched right away. You stumbled upon my deep reverie. I hear you shout out, "Mum, I need a wee." Thank you, my name's Hazel Valente, love and light.
Hazel Valente, everybody! All right, next up we have Kerry Mickey. Are you in the house? No? No Kerry Mickey? Okay, next up in that case we have Johnny Lindsay! Give him a round of applause.
I'm a little bit tired. It's so nice to play here tonight. Since so many good people played before, so it makes sense to put someone a bit shit on last. Which is me, by the way, I don't miss anyone after me. This one's one I wrote. I had to say it before I perform anywhere. It goes from the bottom of my heart. Fuck the Tories. Called Power of the North. The North is just a collection of sheds built around Tesco's. We keep it classy up here, chips and gravy, have it al fresco. The North's been neglected for over a decade. So's my prayer. It's reflected not by nature, that never caused recessions, but in man-made bad decisions, like allowing supermarket trains to swallow up our land, so someone in a suit can get a backhand. Their only purpose is to bleed the town's shops dry. The town cries, but it's too late. It's empty buildings and cash converters. It used to be rolling hills, bustling streets that sold flowers, clothes and taters. They've got the country by the bollocks now. Nice one, Britain. Silly ladies. And by the time people care, like Boris Johnson's hair, it dies. And by the time people who've had the cake and eaten it and died have come to heaven, still soon to be northern, and pronounce scones wrong and have been born in Devon. Don't take me this way, fucking down in the ass. It's alright, though. Thank you very much for a good job as well. Appreciate it massively. Anyway, this one's called Top Shagger. We hand in cock, Matt Hancock cocks up again. He left his wife to weekly pound his secretary. But let's be honest, you can never fuck her as hard as he's fucked up this country. Talk about having too many fingers in too many pies. It won't be long before we find out more lies. Don't forget that he let thousands of pensioners needlessly die. He used public money like it was his hapless jizz. What a fucking cock Matt Hancock is. Apart from this and toys and that, which is always great. Actually, it'll take years off your life. I do ones about mental health, and this is one that I wrote called Life Jacket. Goes out to anyone that suffers from depression. Staring at yourself as you see yourself wearing a life jacket in your mirror. A brief shimmer of self-loathing, regardless of clothing, regardless of career success or alcoholic excess. As your stomach feels like it's being filled with concrete, the cold doesn't move, regardless of heat, like a light in an alley that flickers ever so brief, and gets consumed again in the dark pit of your own grief. As you watch your self-belief cease, remember your triggers, the bigger picture can be hard to outline, and forever seems to crease. The light at the end is it's your life and you can mend. The light cannot bend but give focus on the positives. A roof, a bed, food, family or friends. It may return and may not. You're only human after all, not a robot. Cheers. politics, I reckon, do one about mental health. It's up to you. Do you want to hear one about mental health? No. No. That was a really sound fuck off. Alright. I get it. This one's about politics now. We were brought up to vote, told that our minds would be caught by companies, then we'd be given careers, but due to over 10 years of austerity, the clarity of distinction between rich and poor has never been richer. Born to pay for a coffin by coffin sellers. Forget about the everyman, as not every man can get what they want anymore. Not without hand-me-down wealth, not through earning or yearning for a better life, but by putting on shoes owned by the same bloodline. By upturning noses to be similar footpaths, to avoid the looks of those queuing up for the money trough, the lacklustre, the loose change. What if the future all ended up buried in shallow graves, to end up as skeletons never worth more than minimum wage? For over a decade we've never turned the page. Corruption, greed, lies. Where's the opposition? With all the 20p's worth to have a word, yet not one is said. The creatives that try just bicker over fuck all between them instead. TV's a dead format. The radio's just a horn to broadcast more lies. The internet just sells. Hell is in your hands. It's irony. I'd curse to a God, but I've lost all faith. Not just in politics, but most of the human race, apart from people tonight eating waffles. I can't see Jesus on a cross dying for my sins. I'm a bit tonight. I put my faith in what I see, and I've never seen a prophet's face on anyone other than the working class. Yet they've never seen a prophet either. Yet they're the ones who actually do all the work. I give praise to the bin man that have emptied my bins. I toast to the death of fat cats with too many chins. I say cheers to the death of sharks around banks, stalking their prey before the prey can see their fins. Shout out to the nurses, doctors and social care workers. Fuck everyone that's got savings and doesn't toss a coin to the homeless. You may think they're shameless, but at least they aren't spineless. I want justice, but it seems that it's coated with rust. In a country fabricating pride, yet drowning in the unjust. I feel no connection to this island. I wish that the voting dinosaurs would go back into earth, their ideologies too, and become extinct, forgotten about dust. Let's all rattle the chains around our wrists that are sky-coated in cranes. Thanks a lot for being Johnny Lindsay.
Johnny Lindsay, everyone! This next person actually came up to me and told me that her name was spelled wrong on my list. I had down Sophie Heath, and I thought, what an interesting name, but it's actually Sophie Heaford! Everybody give a round of applause!
Sorry, I'm not very well prepared. So can you all hear me all right? I'm quite quiet, yeah? So I started writing some poetry last year, because I've been listening to a lot of Kate Tempest, and it just got stuck in my head, and I found it like a really good way to like get things out of my head as well. So I'm going to read you the first one that I wrote. So it's called It's Not Okay. So, they say it's okay not to be okay, but is it okay not to be okay every day? To exist in an isolation of your own creation, in a continuous debate of self-loathing and hate, ungrateful, self-pity and pathetic and sad. You don't have what you want, and you don't want what you have. No reply, no answer, nobody's home. Or maybe they just want you to leave them alone. As the days turn to weeks, turn to months, turn to years, once happy memories bring hot bitter tears. Overwhelmed with fear and consumed by regret, with a pain in your chest and a shortness of breath, the blackness inside makes you eyes blind as you try to run to find somewhere to hide. But wherever you go, you're still there inside. The storm passes, the cloud drifts from your mind. Now the sun is shining and the weather is fine. But the storm has taken more than it left. Exhausted, empty, all you want is rest. But that's more time wasted of the little that is left. What right do I have to feel so depressed? And in my logical mind I know I am blessed. Be grateful for what is and accept what is not. Love yourself, you are all that you've got. So this one I wrote about, I think maybe, anyway, so this is about being a woman and your place in society, and it's about fertility, essentially, so I'll just read it. It's called Barren. Barren, he said. I heard not a word that followed nor preceded that word so absurd. Not a doctor, nor GP, not a nurse, nor gynae, proclaim this unnerving declaration to me. 'Twas my prophetic uncle, you see, alarming a wee lass of just 23, that barren would soon be her reality. Barren, he said, devoid of life, a lifeless void, an abandoned mind or value alloyed. Shameful, all those years you played coy, now you're alone, the only love from your toys. Declining fertility, futile hope for joy, but don't worry now, it's only a ploy. Barren, he said, the day I turned 40, not a gaze lingered on. I became invisible, all attention long gone. Have I really changed? Have I done something wrong? What does everyone know? Where do I now belong? Barren, he said, bleak, desolate, dead. Or should I just say past it instead? When there are no flowing rivers of red, there will be no warm body to share my bed. Or is this an unreasonable dread? Does life go on when moonlining escapes shed? Barren, he said. Alive, we replied. So I wrote this last story, which I'm going to read now as an apology. Because, it's good to help you sleep sometimes, like poetry, because once you've got all them thoughts out, let's say. This one's called Lo siento. Lo siento, mi amor. I want to cry, to beg, implore, words heard too many times before, clatter hollow on the floor. You shatter my construct itself, took the unraveling thread of my mental health, as you hold a mirror up to my face, and I behold my true disgrace. You shine a light upon my crimes, lay bare the face of my disguise. Lies to myself and lies to you, I lie lost in lies I knew were true. Lo siento, mi amor. You read the script, you heard the score, a story told too many times before. You play your role, you try once more. The gift I gave with love to you, the Trojan horse of love so true, comes striking back, a gift returned, another love lost, a lover spurned. And now I see what I have lost. Your self-indulgence ain't worth the cost. Delusion, confusion, I don't understand how I would not see my hand. Analyzing, criticizing, self-righteously chastising, refusing to see, denying responsibility for what I choose to do and who I choose to be. Lo siento, mi amor. Is this the life we're destined for? Do we choose what will befall, or are our hands tied by what came before? You have lived just 9 months longer, yet you see things clear when I'm lost in wonder. Am I so naive I'm left to ponder? Is wisdom always beyond the under? Wisdom gained lessons learned, decisive crossways to which you can't return. The current of life seems so gentle, so slow, till ripped by rip currents and seen undertones. Lo siento, mi amor. Please accept these words, I have not more.
Are you up for like a couple more acts, possibly? Because we've got some. Yes. Yeah. Me too.
Okay. So next up, I'm going to bring up to the stage.
You met her briefly earlier. Have you got D3? Is D3 still in the building? No, she's gone.
Okay. Next person. Is Emma Roberts here? No. Oh no. Brianna Jenkins. Am I making these names up? Okay, Alice Greenwood Bliss. Give Alice Greenwood Bliss a round of
God, it's so scary coming up here. Like when I said to Jack, thank you for putting on the light and everything. I was like, I'll put my name down, but if you call me out, I might just be like. So I really haven't got that much prepared, but I thought I'd read something out about like getting something out of loneliness. So yeah, let's just do that. Sometimes you must sit on your loneliness until it hatches, all finally still. Only raindrops and the curtain whispers and the cat pawing softly at the door. Don't ever lie down on your loneliness. Don't let it swallow you. Creaking, shuddering, shipwrecked boat, you drift and drift in darkness. Cook your loneliness dinner. Let it sit. Take your time, try to bring it alive. Explore, stir, watch the pot's contents bubble and spit. Take your loneliness out with you to meet your friends, family, neighbours, the homeless. Spread it decadently through the streets. Invite your loneliness in, along with friends old and new, and learn with each other how to love, how to cherish, and how to forgive. And when you come home, wherever home is for you, you may find you've left your loneliness behind. A moth, small, its shadow surveying the room. Hold it gently, attentively, like the hand of a child. Hold everything just like this before letting it fly. That's it. Thank you. And I didn't really prepare that well for this, so I've only got one more. But it was about, so I moved to Leeds in September, and I started a new job, and like 9 to 5, I'm not really a morning person or anything. That's a lot. So yeah, softens into slopes, sun made her rounds once. Peaked city, wide eye glazed briefly each street. Huge warm body, gracelessly indiscreet. Hush, smoke clouds, greyish, from this morning's dream. Chasing no coin, blind ghosts of tired wants. There is a space on the rush hour fleet. There is a space here between duvet and sheet. Breath for the last chimes of childhood to teen. Glittering, listless, urgent, a whisper, like moonlight playing on moving water. An open mouth, soundless, ready to swallow. Numb buzzing small flies in through the window. Blackly anti, always vision, intersection. Lands, X on a typewriter, tastes each tread.
One more time, Alice! I guess I should open it up to the audience. If anyone's got one thing, if you haven't performed already, that you want to perform, like a one poem. No? Then I'll do one. Yay. this is like, as I opened with an old one that I knew off by heart, so I'm going to close with a new one, and I'll read off the book. That time in class that a broken feather was a poem, a fly landed on my page. Is it you, my love? And we went inside. Grime seemed to move that day, and I misunderstood who was a poet. That time outside when echoes came off leaves, seeds in my arm hair were a poet, and I watched butterfly disagreements. Come back, fucker! Sky too knew for joy that day, and I didn't catch who was a poet. That time in shallows, thistle-like people were so nourishing that no wind on my cheek was the poet. And I stood, judging long-armed brambles coming in like too far. It's just me, babe, sods. Smelling rainy air changed course that day, and I struggled to discern a poet. That place in space-time that sounds of perfect birds cut by trains that caught light, defeated by casting shapes on tree shudder, was the poet. I fell on the path to shout, "Why do you quiver so?" And in ignorance, I forgot the poet. That time we smashed together in total surrender, too sudden an execution for resistance. The room was a poet. We railed against the huge rocks of each other's sensibility. Hang on. And that jeweled solitude was the poetry. Untangleable our thoughts, in the trickling rain, our mind. We could not begin to fathom who was the poet. And that time this body was mine, yet filled with unknown matter, turning poison and back again. Woven fingers were the poet. And good evenings were poetry. And even pasta could be poetry. And books were filled. Still, phone whistled, so I missed who was a poet. Alrighty, that's about all we've got for tonight. So, I'd like to do a series of thanks. First of all, give yourselves a thanks and a round of applause. Thank you very much for coming. Second, say thank you and give a round of applause to Poppy, who's over there, who put this whole thing together. And thanks to all the performers tonight. Thank you very much. A big thanks to the kids behind the bar and the tech team. And finally to me, Jack Collins. Alright, there's lots and lots of stuff going on this week, so check the programme, see if there's anything you want to come to, buy your tickets, and I'll see you through the week. Ta-da!
Let the music play. Wow. What's that?